Welcome to the deep dive. Ready to get small.
Oh, let's do it.
Today we're diving into the world of the smallest animals. And
Yeah.
our starting point is this YouTube video, Top 5 Smallest Animals in the World.
You know, internet lists,
Yeah.
they can be kind of a mixed bag.
Total crapshoot sometimes.
But this one actually highlights some creatures with adaptations
Oh, yeah.
that I think are going to make you rethink what's possible in the animal kingdom.
For real. How can something the size of like a fingernail even function?
Right.
Let alone thrive? Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah. These miniature creatures, it's fascinating. They often occupy like incredibly specialized niches,
Oh, totally.
taking advantage of resources and habitats that larger animals just couldn't access.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the Barbados thread snake,
Okay.
which is as thin as a spaghetti noodle, only about 4 inches long.
Wow.
And it's earned it the nickname, the spaghetti snake.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's only found in a tiny section of forest in Barbados,
Wow.
which makes them, especially vulnerable to any habitat disturbances.
Yeah, that's a specialized habitat. It mentions that they're blind and live underground, almost like worms. What are they even eating down there?
Pretty much termites and larvae, which,
Oh, okay.
really fits their subterranean lifestyle.
Yeah.
The Barbados thread snake was only discovered like 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. And, it makes you realize how much we still don't know about these tiny creatures,
It's crazy.
often hidden.
Speaking of tiny and hidden, our next creature is a master of disguise.
Oh, yeah.
The Brisia micr chameleon from Madagascar.
Oh, cool.
This chameleon is so small it can perch on the tip of a matchstick.
That is unbelievable. So, island dwarfism.
Yeah.
That's that phenomena where limited resources on islands lead to
Right.
evolution towards smaller body sizes.
Oh, okay.
The Brisia micro is like a perfect example,
Ah, totally.
showcasing how evolution can favor miniaturization
Interesting.
in these environments.
Such a small size makes
Yeah.
them so incredibly vulnerable, right?
Oh, yeah,
Especially with habitat loss.
for sure.
Imagine trying to study this tiny chameleon,
Yeah.
blending in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the challenges researchers face
Yeah.
when studying these small,
Oh, for sure.
elusive creatures. Their size, the camouflage. I mean,
It's
it
unbelievable.
makes them so hard to find and
Adding-
observe.
From a tiny master of camouflage to the world's smallest tortoise,
Okay.
the speckled padloper tortoise from South Africa.
Yeah, these tiny tortoises, they're only about 3 inches long, and they weigh like a mere 3 ounces,
Oh my gosh.
really pushing the limits of how small a shelled reptile can be.
I love that the name padloper means trail walker. It just perfectly describes their lifestyle, slowly making their way along pathways, foraging for food, like a miniature tortoise marathon.
That's cute, but unfortunately, the
Yeah.
slow pace and their very specific habitat make them
Yeah.
super susceptible to threats,
Uh-huh.
like habitat loss, and road construction.
Right.
Sad reminder that creatures we might consider insignificant play a vital role
Yeah.
in their ecosystems. They deserve our attention.
It's all about interconnectedness. Speaking of creatures facing habitat threats, the bumblebee bat,
Okay.
another fascinating example of miniaturization.
Yeah, they're so tiny.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could mistake them for a bumblebee.
Right.
Less than 1.5 inches long.
Wow.
Reddish-brown fur, distinctive pig-like nose.
So the video highlights their unique wings
Uh-huh.
and the extra skin between their legs.
Yeah, it allows them to
Yeah.
hover and maneuver.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
They're really defying gravity.
With such precision.
They mostly eat insects, so
Oh, okay.
they're important players in
Wow.
controlling pest populations and also important pollinators.
Right.
Sadly, facing a tough battle.
Yeah.
Habitat disturbance. And unfortunately, collection by,
The people who want them as pets.
overzealous enthusiasts, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking that such a unique and beneficial creature is facing those threats.
Yeah.
Okay, for our final creature, let's dive literally into the ocean to meet octopus Wolfie, the smallest octopus species.
Okay, so this tiny cephalopod
Yeah.
is barely over 1/2 inch long,
Oh my gosh.
which is astounding when you think about the fact that some of its relatives have arm spans of over 14 feet.
Oh, that's an incredible
Size difference.
size difference.
The video mentions octopus Wolfie is also known as the starsucker pygmy octopus because of the fringed rims on the male suckers.
Yeah, and yet,
Yeah.
despite its fascinating features and its place in the octopus family,
Right.
we still know surprisingly little
Really?
about this miniature cephalopod.
Wow.
There's so much research potential.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other incredible adaptations might be hidden in the depths of the ocean.
Oh, for sure. What other tiny wonders are out there waiting to be discovered?
I mean, think about it. It just makes you realize that the resilience of life is incredible.
It really is.
You know, their ability to thrive in such extreme conditions, adapt to such limited resources.
I mean, they're overcoming incredible odds every day.
It's awe-inspiring.
It's like they're tiny superheroes.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about the limits of adaptation. How far can evolution push these creatures? What other feats of miniaturization might we discover in the future?
Well, and it's a reminder that the natural world is full of surprises. Like just when we think we've seen it all.
I know,
a new discovery comes along, like the Barbados thread snake, you know.
Wow.
Changes our understanding.
And each discovery raises more questions than answers. Right?
Absolutely.
How did these creatures evolve? What are their roles in the ecosystem? How can we protect them in a rapidly changing world?
It's like each discovery opens a new chapter in this grand encyclopedia of life, chapter we're still actively writing.
It's so true. It's this sense of wonder and exploration that drives us to keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep searching for answers.
Totally.
We're all kids again,
filled
with that insatiable curiosity about the world around us, and that's something we should never lose sight of.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much more to explore in the world of miniature marvels. Trust me. It only gets more fascinating from here.
Absolutely. You know, it's incredible to think about the physiological challenges these creatures must overcome.
Totally.
Take the bumblebee bat.
Okay.
Their wings are proportionally larger than those of other bats, allowing for that incredible hovering and maneuvering.
It's like they've mastered aerial acrobatics,
Totally.
all while being smaller than my thumb. But with such a small size, I mean, wouldn't their metabolism have to be through the roof?
Oh, for sure.
To maintain body temperature and energy levels?
That's a great question, and it leads to some fascinating adaptations.
Oh.
Many of these tiny animals have, like, incredibly high metabolic rates.
Right.
Requiring them to consume a lot of food relative to their body size.
Yeah.
The bumblebee bat, for example, can eat up to half its body weight in insects every night.
That's a lot of insects. Thinking about the speckled padloper tortoise, what are some of the evolutionary pressures that might have led to such extreme miniaturization?
Well, you have to consider their environment.
Okay.
You know, these tortoises live in very specific arid regions of South Africa.
Okay.
Smaller body size could be advantageous in these environments.
Interesting.
For a few reasons. First, it reduces their overall surface area, minimizing water loss.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which is crucial in arid climates.
Totally.
Second, their smaller size allows them to, like, exploit these resources, food and shelter, that might be inaccessible to larger animals.
So it's not just about being small? It's about being small in the right way.
Exactly.
Perfectly adapted to your environment. It makes you appreciate how even the tiniest details can have a huge impact on survival. But isn't there a point where miniaturization becomes a disadvantage?
Yeah. I mean,
how do these tiny creatures balance the benefits with the risks?
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because while miniaturization can offer advantages in certain environments, it also comes with challenges.
Yeah.
Smaller animals are often more vulnerable
of course.
to predators and to environmental fluctuations.
Right.
They also face physiological limits. Like maintaining body temperature, having enough space for vital organs.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balancing act.
And some species, like the Brisia micr chameleon, they're pushing those limits.
They are.
To the extreme.
Yeah, imagine being so small that a gust of wind could blow you off course.
Oh, totally.
Or a raindrop could feel like a tidal wave.
It must be terrifying.
Yeah, so their small size, while beneficial in some ways, makes them incredibly susceptible to environmental changes.
Yeah.
Habitat loss,
of course,
is a major threat to these highly specialized creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, if their already limited habitat is disturbed, they don't have a lot of options.
That really emphasizes the importance of conservation.
It does.
For these often overlooked species.
Yeah, for sure.
We tend to focus on the big, charismatic animals. But these miniature marvels, just as vital to the health of the planet.
Absolutely. And their unique adaptations can offer valuable insights
Oh, yeah.
into the diversity of life and the intricate workings of ecosystems.
Right.
Studying these creatures can help us understand,
Yeah.
the limits of adaptation and just the incredible resilience of life on Earth.
Yeah. Speaking of resilience,
Okay.
I'm fascinated by octopus Wolfie. Navigating the coral reefs at such a minuscule size.
Right.
What kind of challenges does a creature that small face in such a vast and complex environment?
I mean, for starters, think about predation.
Okay.
Being so small, you're constantly at risk of becoming someone else's dinner.
Right.
Octopus Wolfie's camouflage.
Right.
And ability to squeeze into tiny crevices are probably crucial survival strategies.
It's like a miniature game of hide and seek.
Yeah.
But the stakes are much higher. And their diet, I mean, they must be feeding on even smaller organisms, right?
Most likely. We still have a lot to learn about their specific feeding habits.
Okay.
But they probably play a role in controlling populations of even tinier creatures within the coral reef ecosystem.
That's amazing.
It highlights the complex food web dynamics that exist even at these microscopic scales.
You know, it's amazing to think that even in the seemingly empty spaces of the ocean, life thrives.
It does.
In all shapes and sizes.
It's amazing.
It makes you realize that there's still so much we don't know about the natural world.
And that's what makes it so exciting. There's always something new to discover, some new mystery to unravel. These miniature marvels are a constant reminder that the wonders of nature are often hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to take a closer look.
You know, it's just humbling to think about these creatures just going about their lives, facing challenges we can barely even fathom. It's like they're living in a completely different world.
Yeah.
One we're only just beginning to understand.
And yet, despite all their differences, they share our planet.
I know, right?
And they play crucial roles in maintaining this delicate balance of ecosystems.
Yeah.
Their existence reminds us that even the smallest creatures have an impact.
Totally.
Purpose.
Going back to our YouTube video source, I'm curious about the criteria they used for determining the smallest animal.
Yeah.
Like, is it purely based on length? What about weight or volume?
That's a great point. It highlights the complexities of, classification and just the need for standardized metrics in science.
Yeah.
In some cases, there might be creatures that are technically shorter but heavier than others.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that scientific classifications are constantly evolving as we gather more knowledge.
It makes you wonder if there's a universally agreed upon definition of smallest in the animal kingdom, or if it's always going to be a bit subjective depending on the criteria used.
Exactly. And it raises those interesting questions about the limits of miniaturization.
Yeah, is there a point where an organism just can't get any smaller and still function?
I mean, what are the biological constraints on size?
It really makes you appreciate the incredible ingenuity of evolution.
It does.
Finding ways to pack all the necessary components of life into these tiny packages.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we should never underestimate nature.
Right.
It always surprises us.
It always does.
There's still so much to learn.
So much.
So many mysteries to uncover, especially when it comes to these miniature marvels.
I have to admit, after this deep dive, I'm looking at the world a little differently.
Yeah.
I'm noticing the tiny insects crawling on the ground, the small spiders spinning their webs. It's like a whole new world has opened up right under my nose.
That's the beauty of it, right?
It is.
Exploration, discovery.
Yeah.
It changes the way we see the world.
It does.
Expands our understanding of life. Reminds us
For sure.
of the interconnectedness
So true.
of all things, big and small.
What does this all mean for us? What can we, take away?
I think it's like a call to action.
Okay.
A reminder to pay attention to those often overlooked wonders of nature.
Yes.
Appreciate the diversity of life in all its forms, right?
Oh, I love that.
From the largest whales to the smallest insects.
It's a beautiful thing.
And remember that even the tiniest creatures play a vital role.
They do.
In this intricate web of life.
It's a reminder to be curious, to explore, and to never stop asking questions. Who knows what other incredible discoveries are waiting to be made, right, in our own backyards, in the far corners of the world.
Exactly.